cool cats and kittens. So last episode, we assembled her and put her together and put her on that nice corrugated base so that she looks like she's got a base to her, put some texture aside from just a normal base. We're gonna paint her up. So it takes me a long time to paint. This is probably gonna be similar to the style of the assembly video where I'm not gonna cut it down too humongously. This is gonna be a long one. I'll cut it where I can to make it reasonable, but like the thing is, so one of the reasons why I don't make videos like this as often as I used to is because for every like hour I paint, I have to watch that hour of footage and then cut it down for like to like 5 minutes that you think are interesting, and I end up spending like 4 hours editing for 5 minutes worth of footage, and I don't like after painting 1 hour, and like I'm it's taking me longer to make videos than it is for me to like actually enjoy painting. So I'm going to solve that by editing less and having longer videos. So this is just a fair warning for this one. Buckle up, it's going to be a long ride. Yeah, I hope you guys stick around and I hope you like it. Alright, so I guess we're getting out the airbrush first. We're going to primer with Surface Primer Vallejo Black. Because that's just what we prime with. And we're going to be painting her, we're going to be airbrushing her with the Uralda's Infinity. Normally I wouldn't prime with this brush, but she yiddle. So I don't really need to get out the Grex for this. There's no point in it. And I'm using thinner. Some people use water. I don't know. I just like using thinner. I like how it thins it. Thinner thins it down. Go fig. Yeah. So maybe a little bit more thinner in this. I like it to be. I'd rather use more coats than clog up the brush. Yeah, that's all right. And in she goes. Alright, check the consistency on the paper. Yeah, it's fine. And I think this is the 0.4 millimeter. This is the stock needle that comes with it. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so we're just gonna do light coats. Everybody knows to do thin coats. So doing this is kind of making my hand tired, but that's how you build up the muscles and the muscle memory. And you see the layers getting darker and darker the more we spray on her. You want that base nice and primed too. So if you were with us last time, you remember that I was trying to make the white plastic look flush to the black plastic. And after we get this primed, we'll see if that was accomplished. If it looks flush, or if you can tell if there's a seam. I think some places I accomplish it, some places you can still see there's a seam. Especially specifically around that you see that triangle in there, that line of sight marker, because it's harder to get in there with the files. So you can see there's a little bit more, it's a little rougher in there. But in other spots you can see that it came out nice and smooth. So, and just thin layers. You know what, now that I'm actually painting a miniature with this thing, we're going to try out the sketching cap. And we'll try the long sketching cap first, because these are supposed to help you aim. So let's do that. So try not to spider web this up too much. She primed. Now, I'm just gonna empty the brush. And before we splatter all over the place, put the cover onto her. And now we'll just backflow. Get all that out. And then, ow. Backflow. And fill her up to the gills with. This is a mix of airbrush cleaner and water. I think it's about 5 parts water to 1 part airbrush cleaner, and I think I put some isopropyl alcohol in there too. Maybe like 1 part isopropyl alcohol. It's only 70% because that's what they have in my pharmacy. So that's what I'm cleaning with. And now we're just... That's a problem. Apparently, the brush is clogged because it's not emptying when I put it on full bore through the brush. Alright, so we're gonna have to clean this thing. Take this off. Pull this back. Take this out. Now. Alright. Fun times. Alright, we're gonna get to see me clean an airbrush. That's a nice thing about the Quick Connect. I don't have to depressurize the whole system to do this. I can just take it off the Quick Connect, and the Quick Connect keeps the air pressure in there. Alright, so yeah. Here is the airbrush nozzle, and let's clean this out first with cotton swab. That's about that. Get any gunk off. No. Please tell me I did not bend this needle tip. No, it's true. It's untrue. Alright. So, get a little bit of airbrush cleaner in there. And stir this up a little bit with there. Alright. That should be clean. Now, let's put this back together. That's the first time she's ever clogged on me before. I guess I need to do a better job of mixing my paint in before I put it into the brush. You would have figured with all the thinner I used that wouldn't be a problem. Let's put this back on, in part to keep from damaging the tip. All right. Reconnect. All right, there we go. There shouldn't really be paint left in here. I'm just flushing it out with airbrush cleaner and with the airbrush cleaner mix I made. So it shouldn't. It's not like you're shooting paint through this and giving yourself dry tip. It's just straight up thinner to keep anything from, just to kill anything that might be in there. That's about done. And get paper towel. First off, take off the cap. Clean off anything in there. That's a nice thing about this. The cup comes off, so you can get in there. Take another piece of paper towel and get in here. Yeah, you can see there's still some gunk in there. All right. All right. Next color. We're going to use Hull Red. I'm using Hull Red because I want to paint her skin first, because I want her to have like kind of a ruddy complexion, and I want to set this, even though it's in a spaceship hull. Alright, so yeah. Even though that grading implies that she's on some kind of structure, that hat, the brim of the hat is going to make painting a zenithal scheme very difficult, because it'll put her face in shadow. So what I want to do is I want to do a lighting from the side. And I think that's a better money shot for this model anyway. Like, every model is sculpted with an intended angle to be viewed at. And I think this model, this is the angle that it's best viewed at. Like, with you know, her this way, like, you can see the guns, you can see her face, so, and her big stompy boots. Like, this is just the best view, I think, for her. And we're going to put the light coming this way so that her face is lit and not all in shadow. Maybe we'll try, like, you know, because like I don't want to just do the face all dark. I want to actually paint her face. So like we're gonna have her lit from the side, and we're gonna give it kind of like I'm gonna try to go for like a sunset time of day. Like I'm trying to like envision the world in which she lives, and in the world she lives in right now, in my head, she is going to be in a sunset. So yeah, that's what's going on. So shake the bejesus out of your Hull Red. And apparently I gotta get a paper clip for this. I always keep paper clips handy for just this kind of thing. Alright. Now 1, 2, 3 drops of paint. That should do. And I try to do 1:1 thinner because I like to keep my paints thin. And this is model color, so it's kind of thick. Right, so that should be enough thinner. There should be more than enough thinner, actually. Right, so let's mix this bitch up. There's still a little black left in there, but that's not that big a deal. That's alright. And just make sure that there's no little bits sticking in there so we don't get any clog like we did last time. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Put that in. All right. And check the consistency on the paper. Yeah, that's come out nice. All right, so I want to specifically get her skin. Want to get that face. Just thin light touches with the airbrush. All right, and so I'm gonna try and kind of do, I guess, like a zenithal, but from the side instead of from the top. This is sort of a new thing for me to try, so, I mean, I might get this wrong. I might screw up the miniature, but it's okay, because there are no mistakes, only happy little accidents. But yeah, we want this. Also, the reason why I'm doing sunset is because I want the light coming in from the side, also, and like I want to keep that warm, ready complexion. So we're going to try and make the front of the base lighter than the back of the base so that like it kind of brings the viewer's eye to the front. Like I want the back of the base lit not as well as the front of the face because we want to draw the viewer's eye to the front of the model. So yeah. Like I said, this is some new stuff I'm doing new to me, so maybe we do a great job, maybe we screw up this model completely, but we're gonna have fun doing it. Alright, I think that's about good. Alright, so we got her all red and primed and stuff, and now we're gonna paint her face. Yeah. I'm gonna do the best I can to do that on camera, but no promises. So the colors I'm using: brown glaze from Vallejo. Most of what I use is Vallejo because I just like Vallejo paints. Scale color, deep blue. So deep blue is going to be for like in the shadows and stuff. I don't know. We'll see how it works. Then Carn Marron. Is there an English? All right, tan. Some beige red. Some olive flesh from Pro Acryl. Some of these I haven't tried before, so we're gonna see how these work. Right, and good old ice yellow. Actually, I think I'm gonna take ice yellow out of this equation. I don't want ice yellow is gonna make things colder, and I don't want her skin to have cold elements in the highlights, only in the shadows, if even that. So, all right. Get out our Winsor Newton Series 7. This is the little guy. Wet it. First thing we're gonna do is actually, and I'm keeping some Cuttlefish Colors Merlin's Magic Medium handy on my palette too, to use to thin down my colors, because I prefer to use medium to thin my colors than water. And Cuttlefish Color Medium is just really good at that. So, all right. So let's just, we already got the red down, but yeah. And just a little highlight on this side. All right, so we're gonna do this entire side of the face kind of that color, because this is where the light sources come from. And just while we're at it, we'll just get that part of her neck nice too. So I don't have like a color recipe. I haven't painted a face in 6 months. Most of what I paint is actually, oh, that's a little bit of flash still left on there. Just under her chin, there's a little bit of flash. Let's see if we can get that out with the tweezers. Fun thing about metal models is sometimes you find flash on them where you didn't expect it. That's a challenging aspect of metal models. But it's alright. We'll work with it. Alright, and we'll just paint that part up. All right. All right, I'm gonna see if I can get a better. This brush. I mean, it's a Winsor Newton, but it's a few years old, and I'm gonna see if I have a better one kicking around that's sharper and newer. All right. Getting out a fresh new size 0 for this. So that should do the job. All right, so we got that part down. I want to try and reinforce some of the shadows again. A little bit. Painting her eyes is going to be fun. And by fun, I mean not fun. All right. Yeah, now what? Lighten this area up a little bit. A little bit of that darkness in it. All right. All right. Brighten up parts of it a little bit, I guess. So, I took a class at Nova with Vince Venturella on how to paint faces, but I have completely forgotten the things that I learned because I have really poor retention. So I'm just painting this face to the best of my ability. Let's see how it comes up. So we really want to accentuate the fact that the light is coming from this side. And even here. Pulled up a little bit of a highlight. All right, highlight up that nose. Highlight this area. Get that in there. Do a little. Try to do a Rembrandt shadow if we can get fancy. So a Rembrandt shadow is the painter Rembrandt did faces half in shadow, and basically this part of the face would be light and this part's dark except for this little bit of light on the cheek. That's a Rembrandt shadow. I don't know if it makes sense on this model because the light is specifically coming from this way, so like I don't know, but we're just trying new things. All right. Actually, let me get out a little bit of magenta and keep that handy too in case I want to put some more life in those cheeks. I don't know. I just like this paint, and like when I just like using it for stuff. See if it comes in handy with this at all. So, all right. Okay. So, we do the upper lip, the chin, the nose, the upper part of the brow, upper part of the cheek, this little jowly bit, and I'm not so sure how I'm doing with this. Let's paint up that bit in there. All right, take some of this dark. Get that done. Paint up where some of our bare metal was showing because I didn't see some flash and I'm an idiot and I didn't fix it. So, there we go. All right, now. All right, we got some highlights. I want to kind of put a little bit more life into her cheeks, so we're going to take some magenta. Get a little bit more life in her. And this is thinned down magenta. Like very thin magenta. We'll put that in the cheeks. And a little bit on the lips. Maybe too much on the lips there. She looks grizzled. She does not look like a friendly human being. She looks grizzled. But I think some of that's because I need to soften some of these transitions. Like, they're very stark and there's no real blending going on in this route yet, so. Right. Take some of the brown glaze from Vallejo, and I guess we'll just get that in the eye sockets. Alright. Some of this isn't going to go on camera as well because I'm actually trying to paint a model to look nice as well as showing you guys how to do it, so some of the cinematography might be a little bit sacrificed to the end of me trying to make a model that looks presentable. Alright, so it's starting to look like something. And, alright. Take some of this olive flesh, because this olive flesh is actually a really light color. And I guess we'll put it in. Nope. Screwed it up. Taking it off this. Screwed it up. Yep. So painting eyes, I did a video on painting eyes. Maybe I'll link it at the end of this video or something. I don't know how to put links in I don't know how to put like those fancy like links in the corner or whatever yet on YouTube videos yet. I'm not that good at editing videos yet. But at the end of the video, it usually suggests a video or whatever. So maybe what I'll do is I'll have it suggest my video on painting eyes. But I'm not following my video on painting eyes in this video. I'm actually trying to, because normally what I would do is paint the eyes before the face, but this time I don't know, I just wanted to establish the face before painting the eyes. So, alright. I may reinvent the wheel here. So I'm thinning down, so it's a really thin down mixture of black and the dark red. And I'm gonna do that in the eye section. And I'm gonna do that in the other eye section. So those are nice and dark. And I'm gonna wait for that to dry. She doesn't look horrible. Yeah, she looks a little grizzled. Like a trucker. Which is, I guess what we're aiming for. Alright. So now we're going to come back with that olive flesh. We're going to thin it down so that it flows nicely off the brush. And once again, I'm doing this with medium, specifically Merlin's Magic Medium, because I really like that stuff. Alright, so here we go. Alright, one eye. Two eye. Alright, actually I want to get this a little bit more. Alright, so we got the whites of our eyes in. So, according to Paul Revere, we can start shooting because we can see the whites of our eyes. Alright, and now we're going to take some of that deep blue. And we're going to take a dot of it. First I'm going to mix it in with a little bit of the medium so it flows better. We're just going to take a little bit of it. No, I want that to be a little thicker. I don't want it to flow that nicely. The thing is, I want it to come off the brush the way I want it, but I also don't want it to flood the area. So here we go with the blue. We're going to put this on the side so that she's given some side eye. And also so I don't make her look like she's cross-eyed when I try and do the rest of her. Alright, and the blue on this side. Alright. I can't see what I'm doing. Alright. Alright, and that second eye looks like garbage. Just try and dot it. Alright, now come in with straight up black to put into her pupil. We're feeling ambitious here. Like, I haven't done this in a long time, and so far it's looking like I haven't done this in a long time. It's looking like garbage, but let's see what we can do. Alright, so I think that's about what we're getting on here for eyes. And we'll clean up the rest of the face around it so that it doesn't look like it's splattered all over the place. So let's take that mix. Let's take that mix of beige red with the olive and just do that under the eyes again. So that she looks like she's actually got eyes and not just splotches on her face. Alright. That little Rembrandt shadow in there, and get this in here again. Alright, and then try to get her jaw a little bit. Alright. Retouch her nose a bit. Tops of her head. Just go back with some of that tan, thin down, and just try and glaze that in there. Glaze in some transitions so that it doesn't look like her face is stark. Alright, and do her forehead a little bit. Actually paint her forehead. We've neglected it. Glaze this in a bit. So the thing is, like, I also want to keep her face looking ruddy because I want it to look like it's a sunset happening here. Like, I don't want it to just look like, you know, she's got like, I'm trying to go for an actual lighting scheme here, not just like a generalized lighting scheme. So, all right, that's looking aggressively okay. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna try some just straight up flat yellow, nah. I'm gonna bust out some good old sunny skin tone because it's yellow, but it's also like highly orangish. And I want to see what we can do with this. Because it's a nice highlight, but it's also not going to take us out of the scene of a nice orangey sunset. So, all right. Let's see what we can do with this. All right. And neaten up in there a little bit. All right. All right. See how that sunny skin tone mixes with some of the beige red. See if we can't do a little bit of a highlight with that. Something not too strong. And get that Rembrandt shadow with this color too. And tap the top of her head a little bit. Do that. Alright, I think at this point I need to glaze this down a bit. Still feel like that eye needs a little bit cleaning up. This eye needs a little bit cleaning up. We'll do that with that mixture I just made. With this. There we go. Yeah, that looks better. Alright, and now we'll go back in there with a little bit more magenta. Once again, just like really thin down. We'll put that subtly in her cheeks. We'll try and glaze that down. And we'll do that a little on her lip. And glaze that down a little bit more. I want her to look like she's got some color and life in her face, but I also don't want her to look like a fiesta clown. So, I'll glaze some Tamron over this a little bit. Yeah, that's too stark. I'm gonna soften that up a little bit. Like, maybe this Monstrucker has lived a hard life, but deep down inside, she's still a woman. She want to be treated with respect. Okay, That's looking a little smoother and a little better. All right. And let's soften this up a little bit. All right. Now, her forehead in there is not looking great. The thing is, we got to keep it kind of dark because it's under that hat. Like, we still want it skin colored, but it's got to be under a hat, so maybe not as bright as the cheeks and the nose and the chin. Maybe bring this chin down a little bit. Have I even been doing this on camera? I guess I'll watch it afterward to find out. Alright, and we're going back in with that tan, thin down. Just glazing it in. And you see how I get not all, but a lot of the paint off before I go back in there. Bring that back down. And the forehead, right? So we're just keeping this dark brown. We're just keeping this brownish. All right, now we're gonna get crazy and paint her eyebrows because she has eyebrows and they should be painted. So we're gonna go with a mix of that blue, a little bit of that magenta, sure, why not, and the brown. So like I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't have any like recipes like set up for like exactly how to do whatever I'm doing. Like I'm just taking colors that kind of feel like they'll work and using them, and like I'm trying to like maintain the effect of what I want to do with her head, which is, you know, make it look like there's a sunset happening. You know what? I'm just gonna go with that straight black because I don't want, yeah. Paint her eyebrow. I don't think I got any paint on that eyebrow. Alright. This is really tiny and I can't see what I'm doing. If you aren't aware, so Infinity Minis are true 28mm scale, and their heads are true 28mm scale heads. I think that's about the best I'm going to get with those eyebrows. We'll have to do her hair up some color with the ponytail too. And alright. We should paint that neck a color. It should be a color. Yeah, so let's take that sunny skin tone mix we had. See different chords in her neck. So this is sticking out a bit, and this is we're just gonna do that. Get her ear. Is that an ear? Yeah. Get her ear in there a little bit. And soften soften that down a little bit. Get the tan. It's not light tan, but I mean, there's probably an episode in here on how to do faces and an episode on how to do skin in general, but quite frankly, you can learn how to paint faces and eyes better from other people than you can from me. If you're watching this, I'm assuming you're doing it for entertainment. So let's base coat the rest of her skin, and I want to base coat it with a darker color. So, all right, we'll go with we mixed the brown glaze in with the tan, and we're just gonna let me do this on camera too. That'd be nice. So, right. Alright, and I'm liking this tan because it's a nice ruddy color, and that's like what we want to do with her. She's wearing gloves, so we're not going to paint up her hands. We're basically just going to base coat the rest of the skin. Alright. I don't need to use the super sharp Winsor Newton for base coating her skin. Or this super sharp Winsor Newton for base coating her skin. Where to put them? We can go with this little guy. The one that I can't read the numbers on anymore. I think that's a 0, so. Alright. We don't need the brand new one to do this. And don't worry too much if I get the skin color on other parts, because we're going to go over and paint that stuff anyway. There's a little bit sticking out the back there. And she got that bicep. She had Jack Diesel because she's a trucker and she lifts cargo, and she drives trucks and she fights off bandits with. So I have since looked at the profile for this mini, and she has a shotgun and I think it's a riot stopper or an acrylic gun, a glue gun basically, a non-lethal weapon. So Which is nice because if you need to stop a tag, then glue guns are nice for stopping tags. So she's not completely screwed if she sees an avatar on the other side of the field. I mean, pretty much anybody's screwed if you see an avatar on the other side of the field, but at least she can do something more than use foul language to deal with it. I think she got something to say back. All right. I don't think she's got a midriff open. I think she actually... Yeah. Alright. You know what? The light is coming from this way, so I want to brighten up this part of her face more. I want to brighten up this side of her face more. So we're going to go back to super sharp number 0 again, because the face is the first place people look on a model. There's an old adage: faces, bases, and flags. Those are the things to concentrate when you're painting your model. So we're gonna try and make that what we do. All right, so. Pronounce the cheek a little bit more. Actually, I'm going to edge highlight that jawline a little bit. Pronounce that jawline a little bit more. So if this were a dude, we try and give her some 5 clack shadow, but we're going to say she's cis femme and not having 5 clack shadow. Alright, so that's alright. I'm liking that a little better. Actually, soften this up a little bit too. Alright, so I'm liking that a little bit better. Let's see what we can't do about the other side of her face. I kind of want to get that a little bit darker. So I'm going to mix some of the brown with some of that tan. You know, I'm gonna put a little bit of the blue in there to get it to make it. Whoa, way too much blue. All right. I'm gonna put a little bit of the blue in there to make it colder, because that's the side facing away from the sun. All right. Darken that up a little bit. All right, and let's see if we can't put a little bit of that on the other side. Actually, let's see if I can't do that on the underside of her hat. And now I hate it again. Alright, so actually I'm gonna risk using a little bit of just straight up sunny skin tone. And right. All right. Okay. I think this face is about where we're gonna be with this. Um, yeah, I think we're about where we're gonna be with this face. Um, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some pictures of it and look at it blown up to see where I made all my screw ups. Because you might think you did everything hunky dory and great, but then you blow it up under a camera and you see in much greater detail what you did, and you're like, oh, okay, that needs a lot more work. So, yeah. And just a little bit more magenta bit on the mouth. This is where we're at with the face. Let me just do more work now. mm. All right. So yeah, I highly recommend taking a picture of what you're working on and looking at it blown up on your computer to see what it actually looks like. Because the naked eye will fool you. Um, and also, you might be a little sentimental about what you're looking at, so sometimes it's a little easier to be objective when you look through the eye of the lens of a camera. It's a little bit easier to be objective about your own work. Maybe even just push a little bit more red up into her, a little bit more magenta up into her forehead. That magenta be her, Shauna. All right, so the thing about the face is like, so whatever lighting scheme the face is under, like that's going to inform what we do for the rest of the model. So all right. And I'm trying to do this thing where I break the model up into small parts. So like the arm is actually a cylinder, and like the chest, the breasts are spheres, and the head is a sphere, but it's got like smaller spheres, like the cheeks are spheres, and the nose is a rectangle. And I'm trying to break things up into smaller units into more simplified shapes so that I can like more reasonably paint the volumes. I kind of want to start doing a little bit of highlighting on this, like highlight those muscles. highlight that peck. Get this highlighted here. And for this I'm using Sunny Skin Tone again. Just kind of blocking out where I want the color. And I'll worry about blending it later. I'm just trying to like define where light would be on this shape. And then we can worry about blending after that's been accomplished. So this is a cylinder and it's going this way. All right. Once again, we're defining those trucker muscles. And so the chest, aside from the individual breasts, the chest is probably like a, I don't know, not a rectangle, like a sphere, like a, I don't know, like a cylinder. I don't know. But actually, for doing this color blocking, I probably don't need super sharp brush. We can use the older brush. So if the light's coming from this way, then this part of her chest will be more highlighted. That neck needs more highlighting too. We're just gonna block in the color. All right, so that neck needs more highlighting. Needs to be a brighter color. And then, so these muscles. All right, so this is the top of the sphere, but the sphere is being lit from the side. Actually, get this a little bit here. All right, so all right, so we get this a little bit more lit here. All right, so that's the blocking of her skin color. I'm gonna take a little break because I want to drink some soda. All right, so now that we look on the face on camera up close, we need a lot more work to do. She is not looking good. Maybe it's just this lighting, but no, she looked a lot better from when I was looking at her, but actually like on camera you can see that face is hurting, and that cheek looks pretty good, but the rest of her is just needs some work. So that's probably all going to be done off camera. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna paint the rest of her off camera, the rest of her face off camera, but you saw for the most part what I was doing in the first place. This has turned out to be over an hour worth of painting just to get her face and, you know, her, all, like, you know, the highlights on her muscles and stuff. So I'm not going to make this a 6 hour long video. Instead, I'm just going to cut the episode here, and yeah, we're gonna call it cut and print for this. And yeah, so if you liked this episode, if you found it entertaining, if you found it informative or anything, then, you know, great. If not, then I apologize for having failed you. I hope it was at least entertaining. Yeah, if you like this video, hit like down the like button thing. It's easy, it's free, you can just click. If you haven't already, then subscribe to my channel, if the spirit moves you. And if the spirit really moves you, feel free to share this video with people you think would be interested in watching it. Some of this is just, I've painted like one actual miniature, like, over the past 6 months. Like, I've painted a lot of terrain, I've painted vehicles, but I've painted one miniature over the course of like the past 6 months, and I need to paint another miniature because like my brain is just like, and so I'm like, okay, I'll paint a fucking miniature, because that's what I do for stress relief. And yeah, so stay cool, cats and kittens, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.